it's my pleasure to introduce Rod as your speaker today. Seems a little odd for him to introduce himself, so that's why you get me again. Rod's going to share with you some of his goals for the new year, his experiences at convention, I believe, and some other great ideas. So let's welcome him.
Thank you, Amy. Enough of me. Okay, so fellow Rotarians, my honored guests, and my family, it is absolutely my pleasure and honor to stand before you as your new president. I'm grateful for the trust you've placed in me, and I'm committed to working with our exemplary board to guide Club 21 and fulfill our mission of championing health, education, and peace through fellowship and service. I want to express my gratitude to our incoming and outgoing board members for their leadership, support, and belief in our collective mission. And I'll introduce our board members and executive team a little bit later. I'd like to thank Paul Byron, Gary Stokes, Kyle Ware, and Amy Higgins for their exceptional leadership during my board tenure and in preparing me for this role. Your examples have been invaluable to me, and you've set a high standard and instilled confidence in me this last few years. I also want to thank Mike Church for his sponsorship and his mentorship, as well as the timely and sage advice I continue to receive from past presidents like Clark and also members like Julie Kelsey. Today, I'm going to share a few stories, highlight some moments from my time at PETS in the International Convention, and then discuss our vision, goals, and theme for the upcoming year. So if time permits, I'll be happy to answer any softball questions that you may have at the end, okay? So I'm grateful to have my family and friends with me. You've been a constant influence in my life. You've supported me through thick and thin. While I could share countless stories about each of you, I'm going to minimize my crying and save time for the rest of the program by not doing that. So I do want to acknowledge and express my love and pride from my amazing wife, Lisa Price. She has been my partner in crime, my best friend, my unwavering support for almost 37 years. From the moment I grabbed her hand, I said, "Hold on tight, it's going to be a wild journey." She's been by my side through every adventure and challenge, and that includes clinging to the side of a glacier in gale force winds in sideways rain. So Lisa's also a valuable member of Spokane Rotary Club 21 and a strong community leader in her own right. So it's going to be a little more exciting for the next year, so I'm going to ask you to hold on just a little tighter. So. In 1971, a poor 7-year-old boy lived in a tiny rural town not too far from here. His dad lost his job, and prospects were low due to the economy of the 1970s. One spring day, the boy had to go to school with very little for breakfast and no lunch because there simply wasn't any food in the house. His parents sent him on his way with the promise they'd come up with something by noon. As lunchtime rolled around, the boy, embarrassed and afraid, made his way out to the schoolyard because everyone was required to go outside to eat. While the other children sat on the lawn, opening their lunches, laughing and talking excitedly, the little boy sat there waiting, getting hungrier and more scared by the minute. And just as his hope was disappearing, the boy's father came into the schoolyard with a lunch bag. Inside was a lunch meat sandwich, chips, and apple, and the best lime-flavored snack pack pudding he'd ever tasted. There was no food bank available in that little town back then, but the boy's family had lunch and dinner for the next few weeks because members of the small town pulled together and provided essential groceries. The boys never forgotten that day, nor the generosity of strangers who cared enough to step in with an intentional act of kindness. Summer that boy turned 15, his mother lost her fight with mental illness and died by suicide. However, family and friends and even strangers rallied around him, offering support and mentorship. Among them was a pastor who spent countless hours taking him to coffee, providing guidance and mentoring. As the boy grew into a man and found love, he was embraced by a new family who taught him the value of service above self. Inspired by the kindness he received, He and his wife dedicated themselves to volunteering and mentoring youth in their communities. Joining Rotary, he continues to serve and to strive to live up to a legacy of service and intentional kindness. The man attributes his desire to help others to those who intervened in his life, often as strangers, demonstrating the power of giving without expectation of anything in return. He recognizes the ripple effect their kindness had on him and the lasting impact it made. So in case you don't already know, that scared and hungry 7-year-old boy waiting for a hero on the front yard of that school, and that devastated teenager trying to make sense of his mother's death was me. I'm a living testament to the influence of people who made a difference in my life through intentional acts of kindness. March 4th, 2015. It's forever etched in my memory. I received a heartbreaking text message from my 15-year-old son, Matt, about his best friend, Isaiah, taking his own life that morning. The weight of those words crashed into my heart. Isaiah was a bright, funny, and talented kid who spent countless hours in our basement playing flashlight tag, making music, and watching movies. While this devastating news shattered our world, it also left me searching for answers and a way to make this tragedy meaningful. Despite plans to retire from my role 20 years as a scout leader, my heart yearned for a way to reach the teenagers in our community, providing them a place to belong and serve. This led me to the idea of combining the adventure and leadership training of scouting with the service ideals embodied by Rotary. But we needed a sponsoring organization. Oop. Not sure what I did there. There we go. Look at that. So guided by my wise father-in-law, Bob Carroll, we approached Rotary Club 21, and in 2015, we reached an important milestone. Club 21 sponsored our first hybrid Interact Club, Crew 221. Joining Club 21 myself was an unexpected requirement, thanks to Mike Church, but I embraced it wholeheartedly. Little did I know that joining Club 21 would transform my life. It introduced me to an inspiring community of compassionate leaders who shaped me profoundly. Together with my wife, Lisa, Jim Johnson, Catherine Howe, Heidi Evans, and Darian Andrew, we channeled grief and determination into a leadership program for young souls seeking purpose and connection. Through this journey, we discovered the resilience of the human spirit, the power of compassion, and the potential for profound transformation. Jim Johnson, my buddy in scouting for many years, who's now a member of Club 21, took the reins of the program and surpassed our original vision with international fellowship trips, expanded service opportunities, and unforgettable outdoor experiences for all of these youth. So now you know my Rotary story, and it probably resonates with many of yours. Our life experiences lead us to this moment, united in a shared decision to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. You and people like you are the reason I stand here right now in this moment, just ready to serve with a servant's heart and excited to walk shoulder to shoulder with you as we expand our reach and increase our impact in our community and abroad. So as incoming president, I was afforded the opportunity to attend President-elect training, otherwise known as PETS, in the International Rotary Conference. PETS is a 3-day intensive for the PEs from multiple districts in the US and Canada, with about 2,000 people in attendance. One of the highlights of the PETS weekend was having Kaya there, Rotaractor, with me too, and it was fun. She was the belle of the ball there. Everybody loved her. They had no idea who I was. Another huge highlight for me, though, was meeting and speaking with our new international president, Gordon McAnally, who gave a moving keynote message about the impact of mental health on his family, his brother's suicide, and President McAnally's focus on improving global mental health. In May, Lisa and I had the incredible opportunity to attend the international conference in Melbourne, Australia. It was an enriching experience as we immersed ourselves in the vibrant atmosphere alongside approximately 12,000 fellow Rotarians from across the globe. The conference allowed us to witness firsthand the magnitude of Rotary's impact and the difference it continues to make in the world. During our time at the conference, we had the pleasure of traveling with Maggie Crawford and her sister Debbie, who are seasoned travelers and attendees. We also had the privilege of getting to know Larry Colson and his wife Rosemary a little bit more, and it just deepened our connections within the Rotary community. Attending PETS and the International Convention proved to be educational and enlightening, as it really allowed me to reflect on the strength, the experience, and the organization of Club 21. We're fortunate to have such a high-performing group of Rotarians and leaders, plus that added ingredient in our secret sauce, and that's our incredible executive director, Jenna. Wherever you are, Jenna. All right. So as we embark on this new year, I'm going to quickly share the goals and themes set forth by our international president, whose vision is simple yet profound, and that's to restore hope and facilitate healing in our world, enabling us to bring about lasting change. From his vision emerged two key areas of focus: promoting peace and focusing on mental health. These themes resonate deeply within our club as we're filled with passionate peace builders who actively contribute to making a difference. We'll come back to this, but first I'd like to outline some of our club strengths and our business goals for the year. So, while I felt overwhelmed several times approaching my term as president, I came to realize the strength of our club is not in the singular person who holds this position. It lies in its historic future or structure, its organization, and most of all, its members. Presidents don't need to reinvent the wheel every year. Instead, we honor the decisions and the traditions that have provided such a strong foundation. And then we work together with our club leaders to expand our reach and deepen our impact. Club 21, with its 113-year history, get that, 113 years, embodies the spirit of intentional acts of kindness. We have an impact and reach, and it ripples far beyond the $200,000 in checks that we write every year. Whether it's assisting people with disabilities, in finding employment, or enhancing their mobility through the provision of wheelchairs, trikes, and motorized devices, or organizing parties to connect foster kids with their forever families, we strive to make a positive difference. Our commitment extends to hosting clinics in schools, ensuring underserved children and their families receive critical vaccines. We're proud of the contributions to worldwide clean water projects, support for veterans through guitar donations, and assistance to veteran service organizations. We tackle things like graffiti with enthusiasm and gusto and a lot of paint in our hair. We publicly acknowledge and reward students for overcoming hardships. We provide scholarships to artistic students, and we contribute tens of thousands of dollars to fight food insecurity, so a 7-year-old kid might not have to go to school hungry. In Club 21, we include, embrace, and support all people. We're connected by our belief in the power of kindness and giving without the expectation of anything in return. That, my friends, is the essence of Rotary and the driving force behind our mission. So now let's talk about our objectives and goals for the year. Our main objectives this year are to expand our reach, increase our impact, and enhance the club member experience. To meet those objectives, I believe it's important to focus on the following areas. To expand our reach and increase our impact, we need to continue building our club with quality members like you who are aligned in your desire to make a lasting impact. This year, we set a stretch goal of 25 new members. I got no pushback from the membership committee. Thank you. And we have exciting, innovative membership programs such as corporate, couples, and emerging Rotarians, along with some new really cool networking events to help us reach what I believe is an achievable goal. Currently, our club has 28% female membership. Our goal for this year is to reach or exceed 30% in that category, which is really only about 6 new female members. Don't stop at 6. I'm just saying that's all we have to do to at least exceed 30%. I'm also challenging our club to strive for at least 40% meeting attendance this year. So really that's combining both in-person and online participants. And that just means aiming for 14 more attendees per meeting. That's 7 roomies and 7 Zoomies. So we can do that. If you haven't seen someone in a while, reach out and encourage them to attend a meeting. I hope you'll agree with me that we have amazing programs, and thanks to our program committee for that. It's also time to update our strategic plan to align with our mission and guide us into the future. And I'll be working with our board to dive into the plan and determine a strategy that's going to drive our impact forward. I saved member retention for last because it is a top priority. Last year, despite onboarding 17 new members, our total number of active members decreased by 12 due to member losses. Our goal is to reduce member losses by 20% this year. And that really means only aiming for 6 to 10 avoidable member losses, and we can do that. So we need your help to enhance engagement and retention. And it can only be, you can do it through planning and running events or just calling on club members. So reach out to Dave Troike or Tim Sweet to find out how you can get involved and join our engagement committee. We have multiple opportunities for members to get engaged and connect with each other. People connect, or people stay in Rotary because they connect. And they connect with Rotary because they're engaged. Joining committees which offer their own fellowship element is a great way. We talked about it, like the membership committee. They go have beers to have their meeting. That's fellowship to me, and it's a lot of fun. Additionally, our hands-on service projects like the vaccination clinics and the graffiti busters, they provide easy ways to get involved and have fun. So let's aim to have 4 service projects this year. That should be easy for this crew. So those are several of our key objectives this year, and I hope you're as excited as I am in working hard to achieve them together. Now, in August of 2022, our new executive team was starting our Rotary year, and we were celebrating the fact that we'd made it through the pandemic relatively unscathed compared to a lot of other clubs. And it was about that time we received a resignation letter from a longtime Rotarian. And in this letter, this Rotarian kind of laid out that, their struggles that they had had with depression and mental health and a lot of challenges during that time, during the pandemic when we were relegated to just Zoom. And they felt that nobody called on them or reached out to them to find out what was going on. And they just lost hope. The letter made me realize that where there is one, there are probably more. And we need to find ways to support our fellow Rotarians and focus on mental health. So according to a study by the Mental Health America organization, 1 in 4 adults now faces mental health challenges. And that means approximately 50 of our club members are struggling with mental health issues and personally affected. The impact on our youth, particularly in the increase in the rate of suicide, is alarming. As action-oriented Rotarians, we have a unique opportunity to make a difference in the lives of our members right here and the wider community by prioritizing mental health. And this aligns with President McAnally's theme as well this year. During the convention, I discovered a powerful initiative that can help us address the crisis. When President McAnally threw down a challenge to work together on mental health, Rotarians around the world stopped and said, "Hold our beer, we've got this." And they created an action group in collaboration with Boston's Children's Hospital, and they designed user-friendly toolkits focused on breaking the stigma, raising awareness, and implementing prevention and intervention practices for youth. After learning about the global program and toolkits, I reached out to past president, Dr. Deb Harper, who's a passionate advocate for mental health. She's in Kenya right now, if you don't know. Dr. Deb has agreed to lead a Club 21 task force consisting of Rotary members, community health leaders, and school officials to develop a 5-year plan focused on mental health, which will prioritize the well-being of Rotary members and ignite peer support programs in local schools. We'll hear more about the initiative and how to get involved when Dr. Deb returns, and in the meantime, here's how you can help. First, I encourage you to join us in breaking the stigma surrounding mental health and being part of the solution. Together, we can provide hope and support to those in need. The Don't Bottle It Up campaign is an easy and effective way to support our fellow Rotarians as well as family, friends, and people in our community. I'm challenging us all to break the stigma and silence surrounding mental health. Through kindness and compassion, we can create a supportive environment where people feel seen, heard, safe, and supported in their journey towards well-being. So don't bottle it up. And don't be afraid to speak up. And it's okay to not be okay. So if you haven't figured out by now, my theme this year is intentional acts of kindness. We're good at this. Doing kind things makes us feel good, and that's okay. When we show kindness, we not only make others feel good, we get a release of endorphins, and that lights up the pleasure centers of our brains. And that's why Rotarians are generally so happy. So essentially, we're helping our own mental health as well. So that's the plan, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you this year as we build on our tradition and our mission of being kind to others and also creating hope in the world. Now I'd like to introduce you to the leadership team that's going to be guiding our efforts this year. So if you're here in person, will you please stand when I call your name? And if you're on Zoom, you don't have to stand, but you can if you want. So first of all, I'd like to recognize the executive team, and that's our president-elect, Stephanie Page. There you go. We have Vice President Julie Kelsey, who's on Zoom with us today. Thank you, Julie. Jeez. We have our Secretary and Treasurer, Nicole Laporte. Is Nicole here today? Nope. Yeah. And then when you retire from president, you don't get to leave. And I know, Amy, I know you want that so bad, but the past president is also on the executive team, so I'd like to recognize Amy again. And there we go. And we have our board of directors. So we have, I'm going to read them. They're not going to be in order as they're in the photos. On our board of directors, we have Kevin Weir, Louise Joss, Molly Pepper, Jim Johnson, Rick Repp, Adam Brigham-Maltoff, and Christine Meyer. How about a round of applause for them? And while I wish I had time, but I don't have time to name them all, I want to thank our multiple committee chairs and co-chairs for your energy and leadership. You are what drives this club, and I appreciate you so much. My friends, I'm truly honored to call myself a Rotarian, but especially a member of Rotary Club 21. I don't much believe in coincidences, and that's why I believe I'm where I'm supposed to be, right here, right now, ready to work alongside you all. And you are some of the best people I've ever known in my life. And we're going to be carrying out intentional acts of kindness to make our community and world a better place. Thank you.